How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video where this time I will be talking about Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 2. I just finished the season. It nearly killed me. My wife and I just binged the whole thing after I got home from work, but we did it. The deed is done. Who knows when this video will be getting out, but I'm working on it. Full disclosure, this review will have spoilers in it. So if that's something that, if you're still working on finishing the show, then leave and just come back to this video at a different date. But I have a lot of thoughts. I really do want to talk about the show because this was very, very, very fascinating. So there's three main things that I want to talk about. That is, of course, the setting and like the location and everything in which most of this story takes place. I want to talk about the creatures, and I want to talk about just my overall thoughts, like random things I want to talk about. Firstly, with like the setting, the location and everything, it being set in West Africa. I thought that was really cool. I think when I was looking at the trailers and everything like that, I assumed it was going to be set on just like another isolated island. And it was going to be kind of like going back to square one, where it's like this company has an island with dinosaurs on it. And I was a little bit bummed out from that. But seeing this on just a different continent, like Africa, and like showcasing how this, whole dinosaur epidemic has spread to like all over the world, essentially, and how these different corporations and everything are just taking advantage of dinosaurs existing in the real world and just, the effects of that in the real world. I love it. That's one of the things I loved about Chaos Theory Season 2 is that we actually get a glimpse of how the world is reacting to non-avian dinosaurs being back everywhere. And with it being set in West Africa, which is a different setting entirely, a different location, it has a whole different feel to it, and different sorts of creatures and stuff like that. It was great. It was really great kind of just seeing that different canvas for everything to be painted on, especially with some of the new characters like Aminata and her daughter, of course. Really loved their inclusion. And, it's just things like that that really kind of just show how widespread dinosaurs being reintroduced to the world truly is. And I am all here for it. I'm all here for it. Season 1, I already thought that they did a great job with that. And now in Season 2, I thought that it was just dialed up to 11 in a few different spots. And like along with that, the overall story was pretty decent as well. Of course, it's just a carryover of Season 1, where we're just kind of talking about the dinosaur broker, the one who's illegally shipping dinosaurs and stuff like that, illegally purchasing them, and her facilities that she has everywhere. Which, by the way, of course, we get it revealed that Soyona is the broker. Of course, this character from Dominion. I thought that was pretty cool. She was a pretty underutilized character in Dominion, so it's kind of nice to see her fleshed out a little bit more. In Dominion, she felt more like a James Bond or Fast and the Furious type villain, whereas here you can see a little bit more of her motivations. She's illegally trafficking dinosaurs and stuff like that, so it's probably pretty standard given the context of the world right now in the Jurassic universe, of course. But yeah, I still thought it was cool that it was her, and that we get a little bit more of her fleshed out, and like a little bit more with the Atrociraptors and stuff like that. But on from that, I want to talk about my absolutely favorite thing about this season, and that is the creatures. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, did they kill it with the creatures. We started it off pretty awesome with the Majungasaurus. Its design looks incredible. I have already talked about this a little bit, but I just love the way that the Majungasaurus looks in this show. It has all of the traits that we attribute to Majungasaurus, like that relatively stubby and thick skull, with the type of horn that it has on top of its skull, and that like incredibly thick nasal ridge that it has going down the skull, and the overall kind of like sausage-like body. I wasn't too like crazy about the whole cannibalism thing that they were really emphasizing. Like they were kind of like portraying it like Majungasaurus is just 100% a cannibalistic dinosaur and only hunted its own kind, which of course is a thing that is brought up because Majungasaurus is one of the only confirmed dinosaurs to practice cannibalism, because we found Majungasaurus bite marks on already deceased Majungasauruses. That doesn't mean that it actively went after other Majungasauruses to hunt them. Chances are with most theropod dinosaurs, they would, if they came, if they were hungry enough and they came across something like a member of their same species that is already expired, chances are they're going to eat it. It's just about survival for them. So I thought it was interesting that they really wanted to emphasize the fact that, hey, these are cannibalistic dinosaurs. If you put two of them together, one of them's going to die. But, that's really that's water under the bridge. It's really not. It's more so a nitpick. But the Suchomimus, was absolutely beautiful. We got a little bit of it in season 1, and I absolutely adored it there, and I adore it 15 more times now. The bright colors of this animal with like you get like two different color schemes essentially. You get the one that has more so red patterns, and then there's one with more so blue patterns, and they both look phenomenal. I'm so glad we got to see more of Suchomimus in this season, and it really stole the show for me. On top of that, how about that hippo? How about that hippo? I remember when we saw this card. We saw this image of like this card right here, and we see a Suchomimus going up against a hippo. And I was like, that is absolutely something I want to see. This is the kind of stuff I want to see from this period of the Jurassic franchise that we're in right now, where it's like you have animals like Suchomimus going up against animals like hippos, the modern animals clashing with long extinct animals and just creating these really interesting scenarios. And we got it. We freaking got it, and it was freaking beautiful. Let's just talk about the hippo in the room real quick. The hippo's portrayal was amazing. When the hippo first showed up, and it just kind of like sits there. It's like it's building tension, right? It's like these bubbles arriving, and everybody's like, "Oh, what is it? This is terrifying." Then it pops out of the water, and it's like played for laughs. At first, I was a little bit worried because it's like everybody was just kind of like, "Oh, it's just a little hippo. Oh, he's kind of cute," and I'm like, "What?" It's like, hippos are like the most dangerous animals in Africa, right? And I was getting a little bit scared that they were going to downplay what hippos truly are. Then it started attacking them, and then it was like one of the best creature interactions that I've ever seen in the show. The hippo's design is incredible. It looks just like a hippo. They really killed it in that area. The way it moved in the water was also fantastic. Obviously, looking at real life hippos, which this is based off of, I guess, in the way that it kind of like runs on the bottom of the ocean floor and kind of like charges after boats and things like that. Hippos are no joke, and they really portrayed that here. Like, it was just amazing. I was such a huge fan of this hippo. I'm so glad that they portrayed it the way it did. They did. Until again, it fights the Suchomimus. Back to that. I'm kind of like all over the place, but I'm like really excited about all of this. Seeing it fight the Suchomimus was just really cool. It is a bit unfortunate that it did die to the hippo. In fact, this is a note from my wife. She's very sad, or sorry, that the hippo died to the Suchomimus. She is sad that the hippo did die, and I completely understand. She believes that the hippo would probably stand a better chance against Suchomimus, but there's too many variables when it comes to versus things like that. But she was pretty sad when it was revealed that the hippo died. But no, it was absolutely amazing. I loved seeing that little interaction that we had. Like, that is easily one of my favorite moments in the whole Jurassic franchise. The type of thing that I wanted from this point in time that we are in the Jurassic franchise. There's two more creatures I want to talk about. That is, of course, first Geba, I believe his name is. I think I pronounced it correctly. Geba. The Gallimimus. Loved him. I really loved him. So his colors are awesome. We've seen like basically the same type of colors on Gallimimus for a very long time, so it was really cool to see a different color for this animal, and it looked fantastic. As per usual, he's a little bit small for a Gallimimus, but I think it's implied that he's a little bit young anyway. He's still pretty dang big, but I just loved him. I loved his whole personality and everything. So he was really a highlight for me. And we saw him fighting off an Atrociraptor. That was cool. We never see ornithomimids do stuff like that in like the Jurassic franchise and everything like that. They're usually cannon fodder. And that was kind of like the way it was in the beginning of the season when we saw Gallimimus get killed by the Majungasaurus. But this one fought off the Atrociraptor. It's like swiping at it, it's kicking it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Someone should have taken a picture. Oh, wait, I did. Here it is. So I loved him. And if they ever make a figure of him, then you'll see him. You'll see him back there. He was great. I also really, really love the Baryonyx. The Baryonyx with Luciism, I believe it was described. So, I'm sure if many of you have seen a lot of my videos before, I'm not a big fan of the way that the Jurassic World Baryonyx looks. And that's still kind of true here, but there's something about these colors that just make it cooler. I don't know why. I like it more with these colors, and the fact that it's completely blind. Loved that. I love that, and I love that its senses were a little bit more highlighted. It kind of does lead to one of my biggest problems that I've had with the Jurassic franchise as of late, and that's this whole controlling dinosaurs thing. Of course, the Atrociraptors are still controlled, and then now the Baryonyx is controlled by like snapping your fingers and stuff like that to attack things. That already goes a bit too far in my opinion, but now you take it way too far when you have dinosaurs controlling other dinosaurs. The Atrociraptor learns to like click in its mouth, and it learns that that's how you control this Baryonyx, and it makes the Baryonyx turn on its creator, and it was a little bit goofy. It was a little bit goofy. I don't know. It was that something like that was kind of like on par with them controlling the dinosaurs with video game controllers in Camp Cretaceous. That was a bit much for me. That aside, though, loved the baryonyx, and I loved like when everything was dark and they shine the light on it, and it's just standing there all menacingly. It was beautiful. It was absolutely amazing. So that's the creatures. That definitely took up the biggest part. Oh, the lions. There was lions technically. I was hoping we'd see the actual lions. Like I was hoping that they would make a model for them and we'd get to see them. We just see their eyes, and that's okay because I'm sure that it's like a budgetary reason. Really cool to see them hunt Dimorphodon and whatnot. Still kind of seeing these two worlds collide, and like the way that the real world is interacting with the extinct world. Still very cool stuff. Okay, now we're moving on from the creatures, and we'll talk about my overall thoughts. All around, I liked this season. I thought that this was a very good season. Of course, my thoughts might change when I watch it a second time. But a lot of the problems I've been having with some of the Jurassic projects still stand here. Again, that's like the whole controlling dinosaurs thing. And some of the more action movie elements and stuff like that, which weren't really as present here. But no, all around, I did really like this season. A lot of the Brooklyn stuff was pretty cool. I mean, I still stand. I still think that they probably should have just killed her in the first season, and maybe just like move in a different direction with this season. But it was still really cool to see her go undercover with the broker and everything, and this whole just trying to stop the illegal shipment or purchasing of dinosaurs and stuff like that. It was really, really cool to dive into all of that, especially with her injury. And of course, finding out that the Allosaurus isn't even the one that like finally attacked her. It was actually a Troceraptors, which I wasn't expecting that, which I guess I should have expected that, but no, it was still a cool little reveal. And Atrociraptors versus Allosaurus was really cool too. But yeah, those are my basic thoughts of the season as a whole. I'll probably be making more content as time goes on. I likely have a few more things to talk about with this season, and maybe some theory videos or something like that. I don't really do theories, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. If I'm in the mood, then we'll do it. But all around, I had a lot of fun with the season. I thought it was a great continuation of the story that they have going on. And once again, the creatures were a highlight for me. They just knocked it out of the park with so many of these portrayals. And I am just so, so happy that that hippo was there. You have no idea. It's still like stuck in my brain. It was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful. Very good portrayal right there. Anyway, that is pretty much all I have for this. That's pretty much all I have for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day.